It is I, Menace Snowdecker. Welcome back to another YouTube video of BeyBlade Land. I had a whole bunch of issues when I started recording today. I'm not kidding you. I hopped on, my whole camera froze, and then I had to restart OBS recording, and then my mic cut out, and I had to get that fixed. And then I got on here, and I realized there's something wrong with the bottom side, so I had to get on and fix that real quick before I started. I don't know how, but both sides here were actually different. Maybe I added 2 extra blocks by accident, but I was just looking, I'm like, wait a minute. Speaking of which, that also looks different. Hold on. Hold the phone. I am not continuing. Yeah, aha. I knew it. You look different. Okay, so you have 1 block, and you're 2 out. Why? Okay, you're also 2 out, and you're 3. Did I goof somewhere? I definitely daggone goof somewhere. I don't know how, though. Yeah, okay, there. Okay. Now we can start. I'm gonna be honest, this is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Okay, so I can just skip the driver part now, because I'm not gonna need that for a good long while. And I'm not going to be seeing any of that interior except for the white part on top. So the majority of this I can actually skip. Because the red is just dark enough that it cancels out a whole lot of the lighting. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to start by building this up 1 layer. Who am I kidding? No one's gonna want to watch this. We'll be back in 1 second. Hi, I'm back. Yay, we built it up a layer. What do I mean we? I mean me. Yes, I did this, not you. Okay, fine, you helped. With encouragement. Yay! I'm just gonna stop now. Before I make it weird. Okay, so we got the bottom side. That whole section's done. You know, I could actually go over there and I could use a light door. Now, instead of that one. But I'm just going to leave that one the way it is. I could... You know what? No, I'm just going to do the same thing. I mean, it's going to look weird if I look at the bottom side and there's a whole bunch of holes underneath. I'm going to be honest. I mean, yes, this block size is more realistic compared to the plastic. That is a lot more realistic than literally one of these. Way too big of an extruding part right there. But that's what I'm going to be using, so I'm just going to go with that. I mean, yes, I know it's not as pretty and it's not as accurate, but it doesn't bother me as much personally. I mean, if I use one of these, it's just going to look like there's a bunch of vents underneath. Reminds me of all the really exposed 3D printed builds everybody makes. I feel like the thing with 3D printed, it's a give and take relationship. Because you get these really beautiful printed designs people make, but they just aren't durable. there's too much air inside of it. There's too many open spaces. They can't hold the same type of strain that honestly a slab of steel could hold when it makes that shape. Or iron or metal, whatever term it is you want to use, more accurately speaking. Alright, that's a bit better. Yeah, I can work with that. Okay, so where's the... Okay, so these sides. Here and over here. This is where the white section underneath is going to be. This one I am going to build because I can partially see it inside of it. And I can also see the screws inside of it, so that I am going to build. But like I was saying, 3D printed is amazing at all. There's all these wonderful possibilities that comes with it, but if you just use things like plastic, it can't hold a candle to the other stuff. I've seen a whole bunch of different 3D printed stuff over the years. I've even bought some just to add to my personalized collection because it's some of the earliest makes. And who knows, give it 100 years, maybe they'll be worth something. Right now, they're pretty much just $1 a piece. They're cheap, they're easy to make, anybody can make it. 100 years from now, they'll probably still be $1 a piece, or maybe they'll go up by $5, who knows. Maybe there'll be a new successful version that gets made, and somebody will look at the old one and be like, hey, that's one of the first gen prototypes. I don't see much of those no more. So, you never know. Time is a funny thing. It's a little fickle thing. It's always changing. Okay, so we got to do the exact same design with you. Not surprised, because these are meant to be pretty much cross-compatible with every single layer. So we put a ring around this one. What am I saying? We're not getting married! Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know I'm kidding. Oh, I just had a horrible thought in my head, which I'm not going to share. It's too disturbing. My brain is a bit more on the sane side these days. Oh, the rain stopped. I was enjoying that. It was my dark and gloomy days. I was enjoying it. I've seen a lot of 3D printed stuff. Some of which has impressed me, some of which has not. I think the best ones I've seen, there were some 3D printed versions of Achilles that were prototypes from the Surge era. They were rather impressive, actually. Sadly, though, they couldn't really go up against other burst bays unless you basically triple-coated the plastic. So the plastic had to be thicker and stronger than the standardized mold. And in order to make that, it would literally take like 3 to 5 days. It was actually exhausting, actually. I don't know what type of printer they were using, but that one probably got put through the ringer just trying to make all the stuff that they were asking of it. Okay, let's do a 3 space for right now. Yes. Okay. So you basically go as far as the outside of that. But then it looks too small. There's all this extra space in here. What am I supposed to do with that? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh, whatever. I don't have to like it. Just has to work. You know, I'm pretty sure I made these ones a lot thicker. Yeah, I did. Maybe I was just focusing on the shape a bit more, not the design. Maybe that's why. I want to take a look again. I want to take a look. How far wide did I make you? Oh, I see. I overcompensated. That's why. Yeah, see how this one lines up there? And then I got 3 extra blocks because I was focusing on the rounded part in the center. Okay. So I was literally being an idiot when I was building Dran. No wonder I struggled so much. No wonder the ratchet took me so long. I should have been done with that one lickety-split in almost no time. Man, I am an idiot. Oh my gosh. Did I really overcompensate that much? I am such an idiot. Okay, so something I did not pay attention to, which I'm positive now I did not do when building Dran. I see, I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. There is a gap. There is a gap in here with the bay itself. Why? You know, that's actually kind of funny, because based on what I'm seeing with this design work, it's actually not even needed. Is that the same thing with every BeyBlade? What if I grab a completely different one, like Rhino here? Okay, that one's the same. Has a gap. What if I try a different one? What if I try Leon? Yes, Leon was released later. So that confirms that theory. What if I try a Hell's Hammer? Also, yes. These all have gaps. All of these have gaps. How did I not notice that? I am such a moron for not noticing that sooner. I'm actually mad at myself now. I'm really mad at myself. So there's a small gap that goes around the bit. And I never noticed it because I was just a frickin' moron. Now, one side, the gap actually remains completely flat. So it looks like a straight line on both sides. And it goes on these sides here. Like that? Yeah, okay. Let's... You saw nothing. Okay, so there's space all the way around the driver. However, this is where it gets fascinating. In order to keep the feel of the rotational ability, I guess, of the bay itself, they've rounded this on these two sides, facing the actual parts where the screws are actually inserted. So where's that block I was using? I forgot which one it was. It was either the chiseled or it was the tough. Which one was it? Okay. Yeah, that one. Choking on my own words. Choking on my own words. And this part goes all the way to the edge. Yes. Just like that. So there's no bit of spacing here. I think I just discovered a better and faster way to design these. Not only that, but slightly more accurate. And because it has to match the actual angle here, that means it goes to there. So we extend this by 1. But to make it feel more realistic, because it actually angles in like a trapezoid, I need to bring these in by 2. And that's what that whole section actually looks like. And I built that wrong because I wasn't paying enough attention. Although I should have been. I don't know what I did in there and I messed up and I wasn't paying enough attention, but that was pitiful. Okay. So yeah, there is another piece in here, but I don't see it when I attach it to the bay. Actually, I correct myself. I just barely see it, but I have enhanced eyesight, so the majority of people probably won't even notice. So, I'm just going to skip it. I'm going to skip that part. It's a little small piece that's right in here, and it connects to the driver, but it only lines up with one of these. So, we're just going to skip that whole part. Now for the screw. It's closer to the center than it is the outside. So, if that's the middle, about there. 2, 4. Bingo! I was right on the money with that one. So 1, 2, 3. Done. And then I'll just use a block of iron for the rest of it. Why? Because it's a metal screw. It makes sense. It doesn't gotta look pretty, it just has to make sense at this point. I don't give a crap. It's a bay. It has metal. It makes sense. Don't judge my logic. You know it's true. I sound like a raging... Just a raging teenager. Good lord. Okay. So, adding to this, there are 4 contact points and an outer protective layer. Now, from what I can see here, this layer does not start where the plastic is. At least not the white section of plastic. It starts underneath it, and it's a much darker plastic red. Unfortunately, as much as I'd want to use a see-through color, I must continue with the reds, and I only have one red. That is glass. So, I'm just going to use brick. It's not what I would want to use right now, but it's by far the closest thing I can literally pull out of my inventory that matches the color scheme of this dark plastic red that is actually see-through, even though this is solid, and I am aware of this. So this part is not as realistic as it possibly could be. I do apologize, but that's all I can do. Minecraft, despite all of its many imagination-breaking moments, it still has quite a bit of limitations. Why didn't I build this all in Java? Oh yeah, because I didn't like the controls, that's why. Still though, I could have added some mods. I could have added some mods with more blocks and stuff. That would have helped. Who said, huh? What do you mean, huh? Who is that? Where are you? You. Don't you hawk me. That's right. I'm looking at you. Uh-huh. You don't really have anything that I want. You know, honestly, this is actually some of the most fair prices I've actually seen on a Wandering Trader. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, 2 emeralds for a milk bucket? I could be rich doing that. No, don't get tempted. Don't get tempted. You don't give in to greed. You don't get into greed. You said it yourself. You're not in it for the money. Stop it. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. I'm actually going to build these hit points because there's only 4 of them. Not only is there only 4 of these hit and or contact points, as people refer to them as, but they actually line up perfectly. So let's see. Quick drivers on that side. Yes, okay, that makes sense, yes. So it lines up with the line. So we gotta go over here. I could have just walked over here and done that and just looked at this. Because I'm dumb that way. But it's fine. Okay, so it starts with these 2 parts here. These angled parts. So it sits right on this line. So when you take the 4 contact point ratchet and you put it on, it lines up with these 2 lines here, going all the way up and down. However, you'll notice that it's actually not centered completely. And even when you twist it so that it is on, it's still not fully centered. Which I do find rather unique, actually. So given this design, how I got it positioned, it'll go towards the back end. So it starts there. It actually almost lines up with this whole point right here. So I'm just going to build that out. It's stubby. I don't like it. And then, like all the others, it has a hollow trapezoidal interior design, which I'm not going to be able to fully recreate, unfortunately. So, that whole section. And because it's all the way around every single side, practically identical, 3, 2, 1, that'll make it about 6. So if I follow this being the line, three, two, one. Now I got a blueprint on how I can make this on every single one. So it starts here. 3, 2, 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this on every single side so I do not get this wrong whatsoever. And that way it is completely identical all the way around. It's just barely off center. But that's how the 4 ratchet lines up apparently. Okay, so what did I do with the other part? 4, 2, 1, looks like. 4, 2, 1? Yeah? So if I line this up, does that match? Yes, it does. Alright, awesome. So I just got to add one more line. After I build all these down. All of these contact points are completely identical. And unlike Dran, where 3 was throwing me off because of the odd angles, this one's 4, and I can actually have a lot easier times recreating a 4 in Minecraft than I can a 3. Alright, there we go. Alright, now we just hollow it out. So I'm going to do 5 on all of these. I'm assuming that's what I did on the first one anyways. Yep. That checks out. And there you go. Now we have a completed ratchet. Well, mostly. Mostly completed. There's just one thing that bothers me. All these need to be cross-compatible, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It ends right where the screws are. At least I'm assuming. Yes, it ends right where the screw is. So I was right about that. It's going to look like that on every single bay. If that's true, then... Yeah, I really messed up building Dran. No wonder I made it so hard for myself. I mean, it turned out okay in the end. It really did. It really did turn out okay. That being said, though, I'm not exactly what I would say happy with my full result. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not permanent, just temporary. Just trying to get a read on how big it'll be. Actually, that works for me. That seems pretty close. It's a tad different than how Dran was done, but it's pretty darn close. So long as I keep the drivers relatively the same and I continue making this white brace from now on, this white piece of framework, this part of the ratchet, this major piece that's inside of it, I should get a almost perfect design work every single time. So what I might do is I might just build this piece on the ground after this video. Who am I kidding? I'm definitely going to do it. That way I have something to actually go back to and reference. Because I'm going to be recreating this 24/7. And I'm not going to want to come back to a video 24/7 just to look at this picture when I could literally have a piece of framework I could stare at in here. So I'm actually going to build that right here. Actually, no. There. That'll be the center point. Yes. But for now... there's one more thing I need to see here. How big is that compared to everything else? About the same size, actually. I just realized this section of the 4 ratchet, it's not completely round, actually. These spaces and grooves around it, there's a small little divot. If you run your finger along, your finger goes down inside the divot and then back out. So it's not completely smooth inside. I don't know if they put that down for defense or why they did that, but it seems pretty intentional. They did it all the way around. Actually, it does seem a tad defensive. I just can't help but wonder. Okay. So this one's going to start here, facing us, right where this part is. Yes, okay. And it's just as big as this part, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I doing? 5, 9, 11. Good. Okay, so it'll be 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1. Is that thick enough, or do I gotta go thicker? It seems I'm in a bit of trouble now, actually. Yeah, so this whole red section, it lines up with the white section here. And there's maybe 2 blocks of space in the middle. So I'm screwed. But that looks so accurate. It's not fair. I hate this. All right, that's it. I hate this now. I really hate this now. Fine. I'll redo all my work. But I'm not happy about it. I'll compensate for some of its size, alright? I'll do that. Let's see, I did 1, then I did 2. Basically, 2's all the way going down. Why is this so complex? Even when I think I've done a good job, I take a look again, and then I realize, wow, I truly did a pathetic job. Here I am calling myself a Minecraft master builder, which I am, and I can't even get one dimension right in Minecraft. It's frustrating. Which means all of these I now have to redo. That part's fine. That one can stay. So can you. Wait. Fudge. Yes. That one can stay. I hate this so much. I can feel my whole stamina, just all my stamina in my body just sapping away. I feel it leaving my soul. Like, this is what I got out of bed for, to be humiliated? I should have just stayed in bed. I should have just stayed in bed. I wouldn't be humiliated if I just stayed in bed. You know what am I doing? That's all wrong anyways. Why am I even bothering? I know I gotta redo it. There. I'm leaving it at that. I'm not making it any fatter, alright? Because any fatter, I might as well just cover the whole frame. Looks like I'm trying to make some type of batarang. Crying out loud. Oh gosh, could you actually imagine a Minecrafter holding this as a batarang? That'd be too much to actually just witness. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I discovered recently that there's actually a Minecraft manga. No, I'm not joking. There actually is. I discovered it by sheer chance when I was at a shopping mall. Actually about a week ago. And even though it's not canon to Minecraft's story at all, and it's obviously completely different than the game itself, once you sit down and read it, it's actually got a pretty good story to it, and a pretty good read. It's also quite funny. My best description of it, it's like Naruto and the Shinobi universe got mixed in with Minecraft, and then they just mixed that with anime itself as a whole. What am I doing? Okay, yeah. So that goes to... yeah, the edge of the ratchet. So that would actually be starting at the middle. 3, 2, 2, 1. So let's do that all the way around. 3, 2, 2. Just put me to sleep. 1. Okay. I cannot believe I'm redoing all my work. And I'm going to sit down afterward, copy this whole freaking thing down on the ground. Just so I never have to worry again. Oh, I hate this. Oh, the life of a Minecrafter is never easy. Okay, so the whole inside was hollow. You know what, I actually wonder if I can round that out just a little bit more. If I make this part the edge, then I delete one side, fill that spot in. Actually, wait, that almost works. Let's just... yeah! Yeah, I like that! That actually works! Okay. That one actually works. And you can see some of the plastic inside, some of the other layer. So we're just going to go ahead and do this all the way around. Okay, so 2, 4, 2, 2. Alright, let's do it. So 2, 4, another 2, another 2. Start with the basics. Don't overdo it. Now it's peaceful in here. I went from doing great to stressing myself out to doing great again. But hey, that's life. I'll just go and delete that one too. Just because I can. You know, 4 is meant to be a lot more defensive. But honestly, it kinda sucks, if I'm being truthful. Honestly, I made that a little bit too big. But I can live with that. Because Beat Tyranno is going to extend all the way around the top layer anyways. It's a rather unique layer. Who am I kidding? They're all rather unique layers. So if we just fill in the top... Yeah, okay. That all checks out. I'd say that all checks out there. There we go. Alright, that's 3. Here's the last one. And let's hope after this I don't have to come back and do any of this again. Alright. It looks kind of funny, but that's only because of its its square blocking design work in Minecraft. I don't know what gibberish I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to say, I just don't know what I'm coming off as saying. Yeah, so all that goes up by 1, but I can worry about that later. All I'm worried about now... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Eee! 16. Don't like that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. What was that, 16? Wait a minute. Hold on. No, it's 15. Yeah, 15. So... like that. I think I goofed up somewhere. Not with the numbers, but with the placing. Okay, there we go. That's not completely accurate, but that's far closer than what it was before. And I'm just going to casually move all this in 2. So it doesn't bother me as much. That's not 100% accurate, but that's way more accurate than it was before. I can live with that. Wait a minute, hold on. If I started at the middle... I'm getting myself all kinds of confused today. Let's see, 4, 4, 3. Wait, what? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, hang on. I goofed up somewhere. Okay. It took me a little bit, but I figured out my mistake, and I now got it copied on both sides. However, something's off here. It might just be the placements, or... It's the placement. Okay. So, I have the right measurements, I just didn't put them in the right places. It's supposed to be centered here, and I centered it there. So that's what I did wrong, and I just now realized that. Okay. Well, I guess in the next one I'm going to be fixing this whole area. Because I'm tired and I need to get off. So, much as I don't want to, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of sea lanterns down here. And I'm just going to do that to mark this. I'm just going to put signs down as well so I don't forget. Because I need to copy this. And I need to fix these. And I'm doing this so I don't forget. Because my brain is... It's just gone right now. I've literally spent 10 hours recording Deltarune last night and this morning. I'm not joking. And plus 8 hours of sleep. Actually, I'm not even sure it was 8 hours. It's probably less than that. And then I got back on and recorded a few more videos. So, my brain's just mush right now. It really is. It's just mush. To be fair, though, I did do a pretty good job. I could have done better if I was at full brain power. So this is on me. This is all my fault. If I was just maintaining my body properly, this wouldn't have been happening. Did I even include those when I did it here? No, I don't think I did. So that's why I'm having such a struggling issue now. I'm including something I didn't include before. Because I didn't have to. I didn't have to because I didn't even see it. I was just building what I saw. But now I'm seeing these parts on the actual bay itself, and it's throwing me for a loop. And come to think of it, these grippings here actually got to go further inward as well. Because I'm looking at them and they're actually bigger than the actual contact points on the outside. Which is also fascinating. But it makes sense design-wise because it helps hold the bay in place. So, I'm going to put down a bunch of signs. I'm going to mark down the stuff that I need to do. And then I'll read them before the next video. And I'll remember. Right now, I got to rest and get my brain back on track. Maybe have some water and something to eat. That'll help. Man. Alright, well thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked the video, then give it a like. I do apologize, I could have done a bit better if I just maintained my body properly. I'll do better in the future. Well, if you want to see more, preferably more BeyBlades, or this one getting fully built, then please subscribe. And like always, this is Menace Snowdecker signing off, and I will see you next time. So have a great day, everybody. And don't forget the smile, because remember, a smile a day goes a long way. And I will see you next time. Hey, and one more thing before you go. Could you please check out the links in the description and join the Discord server as well. And while you're at it, recommend some more bays like this for me to build in the comments below, please. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.